Well, African Americans were fighting for equal rights as well during the Progressive Era. And there were really two big approaches that I'm going to talk about. One is the Booker T. Washington approach, and the other one is the W.E.B. Du Bois approach. Booker T. Washington founded the Tuskegee Institute. He promoted educational opportunities, and he believed charity is good, but only to a certain point. Beyond that, then you are kind of just helping people to become more helpless. You are kind of enabling them to just stay down. So charity is okay only to help people get up a little bit, to get the ball rolling so that they can build a life for themselves. Kind of like teach a man to fish versus give a man a fish. You might have heard of that before. If you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man to fish, then he can eat for a lifetime. That was Booker T. Washington. That was his approach. W.E.B. Du Bois had a different approach. He was strongly against segregation and discrimination. He challenged blacks to stand up against the dominant culture, and he founded the NAACP along with some other people. The NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And basically these are two schools of thought. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you will probably align with one over the other. And here's what they are. One is, what do you do when the situation is unfair? What do you do when you're in an unfair, rigged game? There's really two things you can do. One is you play the game anyway. You do the absolute best you can. You try to win in the rigged game, because if you can win a rigged game, you can win an unfair game, then that sends a real message, and then you'll get power because you still won the game, and with that power, you can change the game for the better and make it a more fair game. That was the Booker T. Washington approach. The W.E.B. Du Bois approach was refuse to play the game. Don't play that game, and demand that they change the rules to be fair rules so that you can play an equal game. The way that he promoted this was with the NAACP is he would fight it in court. He would fight the laws, say these are unfair laws, these are unjust laws, these are racist laws, which they were, and said let's change these laws because then we can get an equal playing field, and an equal playing field then we can actually play the game of success in America. Booker T. Washington said, look, that's not going to happen. No one cares until you get power. So you got to get power. So let's get educated. Let's get money. Let's make that paper so that we can go out and get a position of power. Then from the position of power, then we can have influence over politics and all that kind of stuff. And then we can change the game for the better. So they both wanted the same thing. They both wanted equal rights for Black Americans. But the question is, which way do you go about it? And that's where I'll end for today. And I want you to think about that. If you're in an unfair game, a rigged game, which one do you side with more? Play the rigged game, do the absolute best you can that sends a message, gain power in a rigged game, and then fix the system? Or do you refuse to play, you fix the system, and then play once it is fair? I don't know. That's up to you. But I'll see you later for lesson number 13.